Good evening. Today is Sunday, January 4th, 2009, and this is my ramble of the day. Alright, so we had Christmas in the days of past. Well, maybe not Christmas for you. Maybe you have Kwanzaa or Hanukkah or something there, or whatever religious holiday you celebrate. Or maybe you don't even celebrate, necessarily a religious holiday. Maybe you do like a George Costanza thing, where you do Festivus or something like that. Which I think that's a pretty decent sounding holiday. It's original, it's unique. I don't know if you've ever seen Seinfeld or whatnot, but that's a good episode. And moving on, so in the tradition of Christmas, I went out to purchase some Christmas presents at the local Sears in St. Charles, Charlestown Mall. While there, I walked around the place. So I saw a Santa soap dispenser. Now this is a present that they have it on the rack and everything, and it's this big deal. You go into this place, bam, there's this Santa soap dispenser. It's like you gotta get it. It's the thing. It is their best product. They're putting it right out in front. You can't miss it. So I walked past this Santa soap dispenser. Now this thing is pretty sad. It is a soap dispenser made out of plastic, but the plastic is like deformed. So Santa has like an indentation in his face. The plastic is like drooping down. It's very sad. It's an insult to receive this, in my mind. This is a present you would give to someone who you absolutely despise. It's like saying, I not only don't care, but I'm going to give you something that you're not going to use, and it's so utterly terrible, it's going to take up, room in your home. It's wasting people's space and purpose. It's like a bomb. It's a Christmas bomb, essentially. It's an insult. It's an insult to Santa Claus. And you're thinking this guy up in the North Pole working hard every single day. Well, maybe not every single day, but he's got to make all these presents allegedly, and such. So it's an insult to Santa. But what's the deal with Santa Claus in the first place? It's kind of a little too materialistic. I wonder how this whole Santa Claus concept developed. Was it something that was pursued by stores or retailers? Seems to be mostly an American tradition, and it's going out and buying these elaborate presents. I don't know. In Europe, the tradition they have in Scandinavia. I think they do presents there. I don't know, but Santa Claus. They also have Santa Claus being tracked by NORAD, which I think it kind of undermines the ability for NORAD to seem like this, big kahuna, let's go track the Russians agency, when you're tracking Santa Claus. Fortunately, I investigated that some further, and I learned that they're not using government funding to fund their operations, funded, I think, by Verizon and a few other companies. But still, I don't know, I think, NORAD, they should have more important things to do than to track Santa Claus. And is that saying that if we're tracking Santa Claus, is Santa Claus a terrorist? Because he's violating our airspace. If Santa Claus is coming to, in Chicago, it's going to apartment buildings. Santa Claus is, a threat to America in that sense. And the same thing that I have to say too is if Santa Claus is going to... Alright, so sorry that my rant about NORAD and Santa Claus abruptly stopped. I was using Windows Movie Maker here, which is a piece of garbage. I mean, this thing it just abruptly stopped because I had this title overlay, like to the picture, and it reached the end of that on the timeline, so the narration cut off, and this thing is garbage. But what I'm trying to do is I was trying to get video or something to put on YouTube. What I should have done, I should have just recorded the audio using like Audacity or something, and then put that in here, but I didn't do that. So back to my Santa Claus rant. So yeah, what's the deal with Santa Claus? Really, you're going? What if does Santa Claus go to the White House? Obama's got kids. Is he going to intrude into the president's office? Is that his latest game he's up to? I don't know. Maybe he is. Maybe he's gonna try to be, working for the Chinese or something. Who knows? He's an international figure. You can just poke his head in wherever, I guess. Moving on. That was a kind of a long rant. The food court. I'm talking about the food court at Charlestown Mall. Now, this is a place of many different cultures. It's like going to Japan, going to Italy, going to India, going to America, or perhaps our slightly varied neighbor, Canada, Canada, and Quebec. For McDonald's, it's a very interesting place. You can experience all these different cultures, cuisines in one center. So some of the characters that come out here are very interesting. There's a whole variety of people who patronize this food court. So why do they call it a court? I don't understand. You're being tried here. You're gonna be sentenced to death or something if you get the pepperoni pizza instead of the, I don't know, let's say, what other type of pizza? They've got sausage pizza or just a plain cheese pizza. I don't like the term court. Maybe it's like court as in like a courtyard. I think they could call it something different, like the big food place. We got food, the food center, food town, stuff like that. Just some ideas. They have this Japanese guy here he's got this awesome sales tactic. What he does is he gives you a free sample, right? And they have good food, but then he asks you, do you want to buy an additional platter? And you feel so guilty. You had a sample, and now you have to go for the whole thing. And if you don't, you just feel awful. So you can't walk away. I guess you wouldn't feel that bad. You could walk away. It's really hard, but it's a very effective sales tactic. So you go and get the sample, or not the sample rather, but you buy a dish from his place, and he's got good food, but that's something else. It's at the food court. It's kind of weird. Well, it's not weird. It's a good sales tactic. Alright, well, I think that's going to conclude my short little ramble here. I'm thinking I'll ramble about something else shortly. I'll use Audacity next, because this Windows Movie Maker thing is driving me nuts. Is it Audacity or Audacity? I don't know. Alright, so this concludes my thing. Have a nice night.